Do people ever tell you that you look like you're from a specific country, even though you have no known ancestry there? For me, that country is always Egypt. Ever since I was a kid, people would stop me on the street or comment on photos, saying, "Wow, you look so Egyptian." It happens so often that it's become a running joke in my family. But deep down, it's always felt like more than just a coincidence. It sparked a lifelong fascination, a strange sense of belonging to a place I've never been. I remember being a little kid, probably around 7 or 8, watching documentaries about ancient Egypt. While other kids were dreaming of being astronauts or firefighters, I had this vivid, recurring daydream. I'd close my eyes and see myself not just visiting the pyramids, but living there. I wasn't a tourist in my imagination. I was some kind of pharaoh, walking through grand halls decorated with hieroglyphs. The hot desert sun on my skin, it felt so real, so familiar. It was the secret world I would escape to, a world where I felt powerful and at home. I would spend hours drawing pyramids and pharaohs, trying to recreate the images I saw in my mind. It was more than just a childhood fantasy. It felt like a memory I couldn't quite place. A few years ago, my mom told me about a dream she had. It was incredibly vivid, and it shook her. In her dream, she was standing at the base of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The sun was setting, casting these long, dramatic shadows, and then she saw the figures walking towards her from the pyramid's entrance. As they got closer, she realized it was me, and walking right beside me was my dad. Now, the thing is, my dad passed away when I was very young. I have very few memories of him. In my mom's dream, he looked happy and peaceful, and he had his arm around my shoulder. We were both dressed in ancient-style clothing. And she said we looked like we belonged there, like we had just stepped out of history. She woke up with tears in her eyes, feeling this overwhelming sense of peace. Her dream felt like it confirmed this deep, unexplainable connection I'd always felt. It was like a message from another time, another place, linking me, my late father, in this ancient land together. A while after my mom's dream, I was at a local street fair, just browsing through the different stalls. I've always been drawn to things that are a bit out there, a little mystical. I walked past a tent with a sign that said palmistry and past life reading. Normally, I just smile and walk by, but something pulled me in that day. The woman inside had this calming energy. She took one look at me and smiled, a knowing kind of smile. She didn't even ask to see my palm at first. Then she took my hand and traced the lines on my palm, her brow furrowed in concentration. After a few moments of silence, she looked up at me, her eyes wide. "It's so clear," she said. "You've been here many times before, but one life stands out with incredible strength. You were in Egypt, not just a visitor. You were someone of importance." How could this stranger possibly know about my childhood dreams? She didn't know anything about me, my mom's dream, or my lifelong obsession. She went on to describe landscapes and feelings, the smell of incense, the weight of gold jewelry, a sense of great responsibility. Everything she said resonated with those daydreams I had as a child. It was both validating and utterly baffling. So, here's the thing. I'm a pretty logical person. I like things to make sense. But when you have a lifetime of people telling you that you look like you are from a specific place, and then you have these incredibly personal and strange experiences, a childhood fantasy that feels like a memory, a mother's prophetic dream, a palm reader's uncanny declaration, you start to wonder, is it all just a massive, elaborate coincidence? Am I just projecting my own desires onto these events because I want them to be true? Or is there something more to it? Is it possible that we carry echoes of our past lived with us? That a place can call to a soul across centuries? I don't have the answers, but I do know that this connection to Egypt feels like a fundamental part of who I am. It's woven into the fabric of my identity, a mystery I'm still unraveling. This whole journey has made me think a lot about identity and how we define ourselves. Is our identity just about our DNA, our family tree, the place we were born? Or is it something deeper? Is it about the stories that resonate with our souls, the inexplicable connections we feel to certain cultures, places, or periods in history? Maybe our true heritage isn't just written in our genes, but in the experiences of our soul across time. For me, the idea of having been an Egyptian in a past life isn't just a cool story to tell at parties. It explains so much. It explains why the sight of the Nile River in a movie can bring tears to my eyes. It explains why the sound of ancient Egyptian music feels so hauntingly familiar. It feels like finding a missing piece of my own personal puzzle. Now, I know some of you watching might be skeptical, and that's totally fine. Maybe there's a perfectly rational explanation for all of this. Maybe my facial features just happen to align with classic Egyptian art. Maybe my mom's dream was just her subconscious processing grief and my own fascination. And maybe the palm reader was just really good at reading people. I've considered all of that, but I've also Decided that I don't need a scientific explanation to validate my own experience. These events have brought a sense of magic and wonder into my life, and I choose to embrace that. It's made my world bigger and more mysterious. It's given me a personal mythology, a story that makes me feel connected to something ancient and grand. And in a world that can often feel mundane, I think that's a beautiful thing to have. My ultimate dream is to finally go to Egypt. I have to see it for myself. I need to stand in front of the pyramids and the Sphinx, to walk through the Valley of the Kings, to feel the dust of the desert under my feet. I wonder what it will feel like. Will it feel like coming home? Will I feel that same sense of familiarity I have in my dreams? Or will it just feel like visiting a foreign country? Part of me is a little scared to find out. To be honest, what if it doesn't live up to the lifetime of expectation I've built up? But a much bigger part of me feels an undeniable pull, a need to complete the circle. I want to see if the reality of the place matches the dream of it that I have carried in my heart for so long. I wanted to share the story with you all because I am curious if anyone else has had a similar experience. Have you ever felt a deep, unexplainable connection to a place or a time period you have no logical link to? Maybe people always tell you that you look Russian, or you dream of being a samurai in feudal Japan, or you feel an intense pull towards the art of the Renaissance. I would love to hear your stories in the comments below. I think there's a whole world of these hidden connections out there, and sharing them helps us realize we're not alone in these strange, wonderful feelings. It reminds us that human experience is far more complex and mysterious than we often think. It's a beautiful mystery, and I'm so excited to be on this journey of discovery. The story of the girl who looks Egyptian, or is it just a series of beautiful coincidences? I may never know for sure, but I'm having an incredible time exploring the possibility. Thank you so much for listening and for letting me share this very personal part of myself with you. I'm planning to document my trip to Egypt when it finally happens, so if you want to come along on that journey with me, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell.